Hi, we're still in the book of Proverbs and learning valuable nuggets of wisdom from Solomon. And today I'll be sharing the lessons that I learned from reading Proverbs 19 to 21. Chapter 19 gives a lot of wisdom regarding relationships. So I really enjoyed reading this. And for some of these verses, actually, they are verses that I had very good relationships with. In fact, I was quite familiar with some. I had Proverbs 19:2 stuck on a post-it on my mirror for months because I was struggling with, letting go and letting God, so to speak. So that verse actually says in the NIV, "It is not good to have zeal without knowledge, not to be hasty and miss the way." That's a #loud moment for me. That was a period where I was trying to make a decision, and I knew the decision that I had in my heart, but then I was also convinced that God was, I was trying to bring God into that decision after I had made it. Turns out it was the wrong decision. But on a related note, 21 says, "Many are the plans in a man's heart, but it is the Lord's purpose that prevails." How many times have we had a plan all mapped out, our own vision, our own, plot for our lives, and some of it or part of it, doesn't really come to pass. We want to finish studying. Think about it. We want to finish studying at a certain age, get married, get a job in a certain sector, company, or country, and things don't quite work out as planned. I've learned over the years to always check in with God regarding my plans first. Now that's the wisdom in this verse. Check with God first. Our plans are many and uncertain, and their success depends on the will of God only. Only plans that are approved by God will succeed. So don't be like me at the time, who already had her plans. I was now trying to draw God into it to say, "Hey, come check out this plan. How good is this? So are we good to go?" It doesn't always work like that. In chapter 20, it opens with a proverb that speaks to alcoholism. The bondage of the strong drink is what it was called. It warns about the consequences of alcohol, and because it can lead people astray and cause them to act without self-control. Though there's a mention of medicinal value, or the medicinal value of a small amount of wine in 1 Timothy 5:23, when Paul was telling Timothy to not only drink water but to drink wine because he had some stomach problems. But without doubt, excessive use and intoxication is caused by abuse, and obviously that's wrong. Some Christians drink, some Christians do not. So this verse made me think about it, but then I remember these aren't laws, these are prescriptions for godly living. So some people have a conviction never to drink, some drink and drink in moderation, and so at the end of the day, I guess it's about your conviction as a Christian. The psalm closes with a proverb about the purpose of discipline. And it says, "Blows that hurt cleanse away evil, as do stripes the inner depths of the heart." Discipline is not for the purpose of hurting or harming someone, but it's to lead a person is to heal a person of evil and lead them on to maturity and on the right way. 2022 says, "Do not say, 'I'll pay you back for this wrong.' Wait for the Lord and he will deliver you." Now, this was a verse about revenge. Revenge, although it may seem sweet at the time, is actually quite sour, especially to the person who is meting out that revenge. It is an outward manifestation of an underlying problem, and that problem is anger. Revenge opposes the golden rule in Matthew 7:12 that says, "Do unto others as you would like them to do unto you." So instead of taking things into your own hands, let God deal. Getting revenge may get us even with our enemies, but guess what? Forgiveness places us above them. So do you want to be even or do you want to be above? It's a very, very, very tough call, but it's something that we as Christians always have to deal with, especially when we're wrong, and even maybe righteously so, because I know most times it's righteous indignation that leads us to want to seek revenge because we know we were clearly wrong. But here we are asked to forgive as it places us above revenge. 21 speaks wisdom to wives and those hoping to be wives. Although Solomon appeared to be primarily writing to men, he writes about nagging and quarrelsome wives in verse 9 and verse 19. Now, the portrait of marriage painted by God in Scripture is one where husbands and wives have an intimate relationships that grows into them becoming friends. Husbands are commanded to love their wives as Christ loved the church, and wives and his own body, right? And wives are to respond to their husband with respect. Without all these things in play, the joys of intimate relationships are non-existent. Now here's my #getting to know God moment. God cares about the poor and he identifies with them. In 21:13 it says, whoever shuts his eyes to the cry of the poor will also cry himself and not be heard. Also in 19:17 it says, he who has pity on the poor lends to the Lord, and he will pay back what he's given. Not only does this encourage us to give to the needy, it shows us that God is also concerned for the giver. So when you give, God also has plans for you and is poised to bless them and their generosity. Jesus said in Matthew 5:42, give to the one who begs from you and do not refuse the one who would borrow from you. That was my lesson today. I hope you learned something good. Tomorrow we'll pick up the story and continue Proverbs 22 to 24. Looking forward to sharing the lessons with you. Have a lovely day. Bye.